My beloved child, don't skip this. Stay with me until the very end. What I'm about to tell you is not a story created for entertainment alone. It's a moment unfolding quietly, invisibly, right now, somewhere in a crowded city street, where voices overlap and footsteps echo against concrete. A police officer is walking forward with steady purpose. The crowd parts around him without realizing why. Beside him walks a man whose steps are uneven, not because he's weak, but because the weight he carries is unlike anything physical. In his hand is a photograph, your photograph. He grips it so tightly that the edges have softened, the corners worn down from being folded and unfolded countless times. His thumb rests over part of the image, as if afraid it might disappear if he loosens his hold. My beloved child, don't scroll. This moment is already connected to you. The man's eyes move constantly, not wildly, not in fear, but with focus. He looks into faces, old faces, young faces, passing glances, lingering stares. He studies reflections in shop windows, silhouettes in alleys, figures crossing streets. He is not searching randomly. He is following something only he can feel. The police officer turns to him and asks calmly, "Are you sure they were here?" The man nods without hesitation. "Yes," he says. "I felt it. They have already searched 3 markets where voices rose like waves, 2 long streets where neon lights flickered even in daylight, 4 buildings where doors opened and closed without answers. And now, they are closer, closer to where your presence was last sensed. My beloved soul, listen carefully. This is not danger. This is not punishment. This is not fear approaching you. This is destiny moving toward you." The man presses something against his chest with his free hand, a sealed envelope, thick, heavy, untouched, as if breaking the seal too early would disrupt something sacred. The police officer notices and asks again, "What's in the envelope?" The man doesn't answer immediately. His jaw tightens. His eyes soften. "It's not mine to open," he finally says. "It belongs to them." The officer studies him for a moment. Years of experience tell him this search is different. This is not a criminal hunt. This is not pursuit. This is delivery. My child, stay with me. Something enormous is already moving in your direction. As they walk, the man begins to whisper, almost to himself. "I've waited too long. I can't miss them now." The officer asks, "Why is time running out?" The man swallows hard. "Because once this reaches them," he says quietly, "nothing in their life will remain the same." They stop briefly at a corner where the crowd thins. The man lifts your photograph again and studies it closely, memorizing details he already knows by heart. The curve of your expression, the look in your eyes that suggests both strength and exhaustion, hope layered over struggle. "You don't even know how close you are," he whispers to the image. "My beloved child, every word spoken here matters. Every second matters." They reach a closed gate, rusted, silent, forgotten by most. The man freezes. "This is it," he murmurs. This is where their energy paused. He presses the envelope tighter against his chest, as if steadying his heartbeat. The police officer asks again, "Why them?" This time, the man doesn't hesitate. "Because what I carry," he says, voice breaking, "was written for them long before they were ready to receive it." The air around them feels heavier. Even the sounds of the city seem distant now. They step forward. On the ground near the gate lies a small folded slip of paper, almost missed. The officer bends down and picks it up. One line is written on it. "I know you're looking for me." The officer stiffens. The man's breath catches. "They knew," he whispers. "They knew I'd come." My beloved soul, this is not coincidence. This is alignment. The man's hands tremble, not with fear, but with awe. "They're ahead of me," he says. Just one step. They follow the path into a narrower lane. The noise fades. The air grows still. Dust rests, undisturbed except for faint footprints leading deeper inside. The man's heartbeat grows louder in his ears. "Every time I got close before," he says softly, "they weren't ready." The officer glances at him. "And now?" "Now." The man replies, "They are." They move forward. On a wall, faint chalk markings catch the officer's attention. A simple message written hastily but deliberately. "You're closer than you think." The officer steps back slightly. The man smiles. Not relief. Recognition. They're guiding me, he says. Just like before. My beloved child, don't skip. This moment is once in a lifetime. They turn a corner and see a wooden bench under a dim streetlight. On it rests a folded cloth. Clean. Intentional. The man approaches slowly and unfolds it. Inside is another message. I'm ready. His shoulders sag. Not from exhaustion, but release. Years of waiting press down on him all at once. They've accepted it, he whispers. The officer nods silently. They walk again, deeper now, until they reach a door left slightly open. The man stops, breathing for a moment. This is it, he says. Inside the room is warmth. Soft light. On a small table sits a glass of water, cooled enough for condensation to slide down its surface. Someone was here moments ago. Beside the glass lies a note. You took longer than I expected. The man exhales shackily. They knew exactly when I'd arrive. My beloved child, stay with me. You are approaching the heart of this moment. The officer notices a faint trail of dust leading to another door, half open. The man presses your photograph to his chest for a brief moment, eyes closed, gathering strength. I've carried this too long, he murmurs. They deserve it now. They push the door open. Inside is a small wooden table, clean, empty, except for one final letter. The man unfolds it with trembling fingers and reads aloud. I'm not hiding from you. I'm preparing for you. The man smiles, tears forming. They understand, he says. Everything. He finally looks at the envelope in his hands. The seal remains unbroken, sacred, waiting. My beloved child, what's inside that envelope is not money, not punishment, not a threat. It is truth. Truth about who you are. Truth about why you've endured what others couldn't. Truth about why doors closed when you were ready to walk through them. Truth about delays that felt like rejection. Truth about silence that felt like abandonment. The search wasn't to find you. It was to reach the version of you that was finally ready. The man steps forward, holding the envelope gently now, as if placing the future into your hands. My beloved soul, stay with me, because the moment this reaches you, your waiting ends. And what comes next will change everything. My beloved child, don't skip. Stay with me until the end, because what is unfolding right now is not random, not coincidence, and not imagination. This moment is the closest the truth has ever been to you. The hallway is quiet, not the kind of silence that feels empty, but the kind that feels alert, watchful, alive. A police officer walks slowly beside a man who holds your photograph in his hand. The picture is slightly bent at the corners, worn not by time but by touch. He has carried it often, too often. His thumb rests gently along the edge of your face, as if the paper itself is the only thing grounding him. Tucked against his chest is an envelope, not large, not flashy, but heavy in a way paper should never be. Every step they take echoes softly, not because the hallway is long, but because meaning follows them like a shadow. My child, something enormous is waiting for you. Do not scroll. The officer breaks the silence first. Are you sure this is the place? He asks quietly. The man nods without hesitation. I've been sure for a long time, he replies. I just wasn't allowed to arrive until now. They reach the staircase at the end of the hall. The light here changes, cooler, dimmer. The officer places his hand on the railing and stops suddenly. His brow tightens. Someone was here, he murmurs. Just moments ago. The man leans forward instinctively. His eyes scan the steps, his breathing slowing as if his body knows something his mind is still catching up to. A faint reflection flickers on the next stair. He kneels. Between two steps lies something small, metallic, almost hidden, but not quite, as if it wanted to be found, but only by the right eyes. He lifts it gently, a pendant, still warm. My beloved child, don't skip. The man stares at it, his fingers tightening slowly as understanding floods his expression. This belongs to them, he whispers. They left it so I'd know I was on the right path. The officer watches him carefully. You think they want to be found? The man shakes his head. No, he says. They want me to follow. He presses the pendant against his palm, then places it carefully into his pocket, right next to the envelope, close to his heart. They continue upward. Each step feels heavier than the last, not from exhaustion, but from anticipation. The air itself feels charged, like it's holding secrets in suspension. At the top of the staircase, a narrow corridor stretches ahead. Soft sunlight pours through a single window, cutting through the dust in thin golden lines. On the windowsill sits a folded note, perfectly clean, no dust, no disturbance. Waiting, the man approaches slowly, reverently, as if rushing might break whatever fragile trust has been built. He unfolds it. The handwriting is calm, steady, intentional. I'm not running. I'm waiting for the right moment. His breath catches. They know why I'm here, he says quietly. They know everything. The officer nods, sensing the weight of the words. This isn't fear, he says. This is preparation. My child, stay with me. They walk deeper into the corridor. The noise of the world seems to fade behind them. Even their footsteps feel muted now, as if the building itself is listening. At the far end of the hallway, just before a turn, another message is taped neatly to the wall. Eye level, precise placement. Different handwriting. Smoother. Slower. Deliberate. You're almost there. Don't stop now. The man's hand trembles as he removes it. They trust me, he whispers. They wouldn't do this otherwise. He turns to the officer. What I'm carrying in this envelope. It was never meant to be opened by me. I was only meant to protect it. Deliver it. The officer meets his gaze. Then let's finish this. The next door appears ordinary. Plain wood. No markings. No lock. But the air around it is different, thicker, warmer, as if the space beyond is breathing. My beloved child, don't scroll. The man raises your photograph again, staring at it as if it's guiding him forward. I feel them, he whispers. They're right on the other side. The officer places his hand on the door and pushes it open just an inch. Light spills through, not harsh, not blinding, warm, welcoming. The man inhales sharply. The envelope crinkles under his grip. 3 years of waiting bending with the pressure of the moment. They've waited as long as I have, he says. I can feel it. He steps inside. The room is calm, almost sacred. Everything inside feels intentional, placed with care, as if someone prepared it knowing this exact moment would arrive. On a small table lies another note, this one on golden paper, folded neatly. He opens it slowly. I know you've come a long way. I'm ready to receive what's mine. His hands shake violently now. It's time, he whispers. My child, stay with me. The officer scans the room quietly, noticing how nothing feels random. No clutter, no excess, just presence. Near the window, the curtains sway gently, though there is no breeze. Someone was standing here, the officer says softly. The man moves toward the center of the room, holding your photograph in front of him like a compass. I know you can feel this, he murmurs, his voice barely audible. You've been preparing for this moment too. At the far end of the room sits a small wooden stand. On it rests a piece of cloth, folded carefully, as if covering something precious. He approaches slowly. His fingers tremble as he lifts the cloth. Underneath is another message. You're right on time. I'm closer than you think. His breath catches. Tears fill his eyes, not from fear, but from relief. They're leading me, he whispers. Every step, the officer steps closer. Then don't hesitate now. My beloved child, don't scroll. They move into a narrow hallway connected to the room. The lighting grows dimmer, more intimate. The officer pauses, pointing to the wall. Fresh fingerprints. They touched this, he says. The man places his hand over them, closing his eyes. They're so close, he murmurs. I can almost hear their breath. At the end of the hallway, a small corner shelf holds a folded card. Your initials. His entire body freezes. With shaking hands, he opens it. You're almost touching destiny. The officer exhales slowly. This isn't coincidence anymore. The man nods. It never was. My child, stay with me. Another doorway ahead glows faintly, warm light spilling through the crack. On the floor before it rests a small note, folded perfectly. He kneels and opens it. I'm waiting for you. He presses it to his chest. They know I'm here. They step through. This final room feels different from everything before it. Softer, warmer, like the end of a long journey. A glass frame sits on a stand. Inside it is not a picture, but a handwritten message. When you give it to me, everything will begin. The man sets your photograph gently beside it, as if preparing the space. I brought everything, he whispers. Everything meant for you. The envelope feels heavier now, not with weight, but with destiny. He notices another note tucked beneath a chair leg. I've been watching every step you took. I know you're ready now. His voice breaks. They trusted me, he says to the officer. All this time, the officer nods silently. My beloved child, don't skip. The man stands at the center of the room now, your photograph in one hand, the envelope in the other. He breathes deeply. This is the final moment, he whispers. Everything led here. He slides his thumb beneath the envelope seal. Time slows. The room holds its breath. The officer watches from the doorway, knowing this is not a moment to interrupt. The envelope opens. A piece of golden paper slides out, glowing softly under the warm light. The man unfolds it carefully. His lips tremble. I waited for this, he whispers, to give them what belongs only to them. He places the paper beside your photograph. No one else was meant to see this, he says softly. Only you. He steps back. A long breath escapes him. Years of waiting finally released. My beloved child, don't scroll, because the message he carried, the truth he protected, the destiny that searched for you, is now at your door. And from this moment on, your life, your path, your story will never be the same again.